He went in and out of the hotel all day. He did not shave. He walked along the plaza tiles below. He walked so slowly she wanted to throw a lightning bolt out of the window and hit him. He paused and talked to the hotel manager below, under a drum-cut tree, shifting his shoes on the pale blue plaza tiles. He looked at birds on trees and saw how the State Theater statues were dressed in fresh morning gilt, and stood on the corner watching the traffic carefully. There was no traffic. He was standing there on purpose, taking his time, not looking back at her. Why didn't he run, lope down the alley, down the hill to the garage, pound on the doors, threaten the mechanics, lift them by their pants, shove them into the car motor? He stood instead, watching the ridiculous traffic pass. A hobbled swine, a man on a bike, a 1927 Ford, and 3 half-nude children. "Go! Go! Go!" she screamed silently and almost smashed the window. He sauntered across the street. He went around the corner, all the way down to the garage. He'd stop at windows, read signs, look at pictures, handle pottery. Maybe he'd stop in for a beer. God, yes, a beer. She walked in the plaza, took the sun, hunted for more magazines. She cleaned her fingernails, burnished them, took a bath, walked again in the plaza, ate very little, and returned to the room to feed upon her magazines. She did not lie down. She was afraid to. Each time she did, she fell into a half-dream, half-drowse in which all her childhood was revealed in a helpless melancholy. Old friends, children she hadn't seen or thought of in 20 years filled her mind, and she thought of things she wanted to do and had never done. She had meant to call Lila Halridge for the past 8 years since college, but somehow she never had. What friends they had been. Dear Lila, she thought, when lying down. Of all the books, the fine new and old books, she had meant to buy and might never buy now and read. How she loved books and the smell of books. She thought of 1,000 old sad things. She'd wanted to own the Oz books all her life and yet had never bought them. Why not? Well, yet there was life. The first thing she'd do would be to buy them when she got back to New York, and she'd call Lila immediately, and she'd see Bert and Jimmy and Helen and Louise, and go back to Illinois and walk around in her childhood place and see the things to be seen there. If she got back to the States, if her heart beat painfully and her paused, held on to itself and beat again, if she ever got back, she lay listening to her heart critically. Thud, and a thud, and a thud. Pause. Thud, and a thud, and a thud. Pause. What if it should stop while she was listening? There, silence inside her. "Joseph!" She leaped up. She grabbed at her breast as if to squeeze, to pump, to start the silent heart again. It opened in her, closed, rattled and beat nervously, 20 rapid shot-like times. She sank onto the bed. What if it should stop again and not start? What would she think? What would there be to do? She'd die of fright, that's what. A joke. It was very humorous. Die of fright. If you heard your heart stop, she would have to listen to it, keep it beating. She wanted to go home and see Lila, and buy the books and dance again and walk in Central Park and listen. Thud, and a thud, and a thud. Pause.